Thank you very much, Jill Morgan and Martin Foley. And could I also acknowledge all of those distinguished guests who've been mentioned earlier, and it would be remiss of me not to name them individually. Catherine Copsey, the Acting Mayor of the City of Port Phillip, Councillor Marcus Pearl, who I understand is also here, Elder Caroline Briggs, who extended the traditional welcome to us, George Lakakis, you heard him as the chair of the MAV. He was just telling us the story that although he was born in Carlton to Greek parents, he left Australia from the Princes Pier in '67, came back in '69, so that's one journey. Another one is Has Mustafa, OAM, who's the General Manager of Multicultural Banking, former VMC Commissioner. He also arrived on the Princes Pier, and I've heard his story at the last festival last year. And in addition to that, I myself arrived on the Princes Pier in 1967 as a 10-year-old with mum and dad and my older brother, 4 suitcases, no English, no money. And I remember it was January, it was a very, very bright day, very different to the day that we've experienced today. But all I remember is the anticipation and the expectation, the hope of a new life. And let me say, we are indeed in the best country in the world, because all of those hopes that we had, as modest as some of them were, have certainly been realised in my life, and I hope that every single migrant who comes here with a bag full of dreams has similar opportunities. It's never going to fall on a silver platter on your lap. You're going to have to work hard, make sacrifices, all of those things, have some luck on your side, but certainly it's a country where the colour of your skin, the language you speak, what religion you profess, matters far less. In fact, we hope it matters not at all. But what matters is your character and what you do, your actions. I'd also like to acknowledge Ted Bellew, who former Premier of Victoria and patron of the MAV, a great lover of the arts and a great lover of multiculturalism, and I thank him for continuing his involvement in this state. Also to acknowledge John Cain, former Premier as well, and also patron of the MAV. And I think Jill Morgan is a very smart lady. She knows how to gather people of influence around her to make sure that Multicultural Arts Victoria remains a preeminent organisation that fosters and cultivates and nurtures talent. And we've seen some of that this afternoon. Amazing talent that I think all of us have had the opportunity of enjoying. I'd also like to acknowledge Mimi Watts, representing the Victorian Multicultural Affairs Commission, and African by birth, a very talented woman and certainly very hard-working in this space. Former commissioners of the VMC, Marion Lau. I see more of Marion now than I do of some other prominent figures in this field, even though she's supposed to be retired as the VMC Commissioner, but she's still representing the Ethnic Communities Council, as well as former member Eddie Mikulev, already mentioned, and John Pandasopoulos, my apologies, also former member for Dandenong. Other community leaders, ladies and gentlemen, this place is also very special to me personally. It was the very first place here, this hall, that I actually attended as a 14-year-old, my very first ball. We had no money, I couldn't buy a dress, and my mother bought some old, once upon a time you'd be able to buy old clothes on a stall in the Victoria Market. You'd be able to buy a new jumper for 20 cents, go home and wash it, perfectly good jumper. She bought a few bits and pieces and she made me a beautiful dress. It was black crepe, a la sort of the 1940s style, square neck, and she made this sash that I could tie twice around my tummy, and it looked quite special. Of course, it would only go once around my tummy now. But it was certainly I saw a sign before about a cultural awakening, so this was my awakening here. This is my old stamping ground, as Martin Foley mentioned earlier. My inaugural school that I went to was called South Melbourne High School, which then became Albert Park High School, which then became Albert Park College, and all of the iterations. Very different suburb before its gentrification. It was very much the suburb of Margaret.
And I know many residents look forward to this festival. In fact, I know one person is here celebrating their birthday today, so happy birthday. We're glad we could put on that Multicultural Arts Victoria could put on such a great party for you. The festival's now in its 6th year. It's a really ongoing success in the eyes of locals and visitors, and that's no accident. It comes from really hard work and commitment. Port Phillip Council lends a hand. We support through our local festivals fund, which among others, several other sources, gives Multicultural Arts Victoria assistance to stage this celebration of cultural diversity and connection for the community. The professional way in which this festival is managed by Multicultural Arts Victoria and the tireless work of the volunteers, who I really want to acknowledge tonight, they add to the amazing atmosphere of goodwill. And I think it really is a testament to the professionalism and expertise of Multicultural Arts Victoria that we've had such a smooth relocation to the venue today. Unfortunately, the poor weather has seen us here at South Melbourne Town Hall. Usually we're at Station Pier and the precinct surrounding, at Princes Pier and the precinct surrounding, and that's a rich area representing historical and cultural significance, the arrival and departure point for hundreds of thousands of people who've come to call our city home, some of whom are here this afternoon, and it's just incredible. I really think that it's a special place, but not being there this year, what we can really emphasise is that it's actually the people, not the place, that makes this a special connection that we celebrate together. Diversity really is our strength. Racism and bigotry have no place in the city of Port Phillip. We understand that diversity makes us strong. It's our difference that we can bring together and celebrate that makes us a unique community and one that has a place for everyone. So let's today take an opportunity to reflect on those things that make our community great. And on behalf of Council, thanks for coming. I hope you enjoy the day and that we continue to make this one of our most uplifting community events. Thank you.
As Catherine said, diversity is our strength, and I'd like to introduce you to our newest board member, Mr. Huss Mustafa. He's got dual role, our new board member, but also Commonwealth Bank. But his third point of connection is that Huss arrived on Princes Pier. Please warmly welcome Huss Mustafa.
Thanks, Jill. Before I begin, I also would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land which we are gathered, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and pay my respects to its elders, both past and present. I also would like to acknowledge all those distinguished guests that have already been acknowledged, and in interest of time, the fact that between you and Joe Calamari is myself, I have to make my speech very brief. But I have to say that I'm extremely proud to be invited to join the Multicultural Arts Victoria Board, because I'm very, very passionate about multiculturalism, and I'm also very passionate about arts. As Jill and Inga pointed out, that I actually arrived here on Princes Pier on Melbourne Cup Day in 1968 as a 10-year-old boy, not knowing a word of English. And I can stand in front of you today and say that this country opened up its arms to myself, my brother, my family, and has enabled me to lead a very professional and a very personal life. And I think that says a lot about this country. The country that I believe is the most successful multicultural country in the world, and I think Melbourne does it better than anywhere else in the world. So that.
Hay algo que nos atrae hacia el vacío.
Tanto no seguirte haciendo cariño.